here's our fish that we can put on the reel. Drag is slightly too loose. Oh yes. This one definitely needs to be on the reel. This is really a good test for this reel. Oh yes. Good fish. Hi, so this video is going to be very different from my other YouTube content because this will be a review video for the Aventik CM Graphite fly reel. So the very first thing that I want to, first an outline. First I'm going to unpack and show you the reel, then I'll quickly compare it to some other reels in roughly the same price point. And after that we'll take it out onto the water and test it and see how it performs. And then lastly, when I get back home, I'll give you my final thoughts on the reel. Okay, so the very first thing that I want to say is that I'm not affiliated with Aventik. I'm making this review entirely on my own. I'm not paid to do this review, so you'll receive my complete unbiased opinion on this reel. I bought it about a month ago on Amazon for $9.99, so 10 bucks. And I thought, like, what can go wrong? You know, in the worst case scenario, I wasted 10 bucks. So the reason why I bought it is because I wanted to have a fly reel for my bluegill setup. And yeah, I saw it on there and I thought, what can go wrong? It's only 10 bucks. So anyway, this is the box it came in, and it's just what you expect for $10, right? It's just a regular cardboard box, nothing fancy. And then when you open it up, the actual reel comes in a plastic bag, and there's a small card in here that tells you about the customer service. It's not a sticker or anything, it's just a regular card that tells you that they want to make sure that you're satisfied with the product. So I don't know how their customer service is. Anyway, there's customer service card included. Here's the actual fly reel. And my very first impression is, actually, it reminds me very much in terms of material of the Redington Crosswater. I have the Redington Crosswater right here. It seems like it's the same material. They say this one is made out of graphite material, and the Redington Crosswater, I believe, says composite material. So I believe that's also graphite, but I could be wrong. And the very first impression that I have of this reel is that it's actually surprisingly well made. I really expected a whole bunch of garbage for $10. So I'm positively surprised. The other thing that I wanted to mention is when I saw this reel on Amazon, I don't think I read the description correctly, because I thought it said it has a click drag system. So what I sort of expected was the drag system of, for instance, the Redington Zero, right? That doesn't really have a drag adjustment where the drag is applied through your palm and you just palm the reel in order to apply the drag. But this fly rod actually does have a drag adjustment knob, which is right here on the side. So you can adjust the drag, and the adjustment seems to be actually quite smooth. Honestly, I'm positively surprised about this. The one thing I wish would be different about this fly reel is that the knob, in my opinion, should be larger. I believe it's going to be very difficult when you hook into a large fish and you have to adjust the drag to fiddle around with a small knob. That's what I like better about the Redington Crosswater. It has this giant adjustment knob here. I think it's easier on the Redington Crosswater to adjust the drag than on this tiny little fly reel. But we'll find out when I take it out onto the water. As for the fly reel itself, you can change the reel from left hand to right hand retrieve by taking the spool off. And you can see, here's the inside. You can change it from left hand to a right hand retrieve or vice versa by taking off this small ring here and then changing this this gear wheel around here. I believe that's how it's done, but they have a video about how to change the retrieve. So next I wanted to compare it briefly to some other reels in that price range. Again, I paid $10 for this reel on Amazon. I checked today, the price has gone up to, I believe, it's now $16 on Amazon, but it's still a super cheap reel. Comparing it to the Max Catch Eco, I believe this reel is going right now on Amazon for between $18 and $22. So in terms of price, the Aventik CM Graphite beats the Max Catch Eco. So again, comparing the two fly reels, the one thing that I noticed right away is that the Aventik CM Graphite is lighter than the Max Catch Eco. What I like better about the Max Catch Eco is the drag adjustment knob, but I also noticed when I used this fly reel that the adjustment was not exactly smooth. So it went from being too tight to being too loose and vice versa. I'm not sure how it will be for the Aventik CM Graphite. I hope the drag adjustment is a lot better than on the Max Catch, but again, we'll find out when I take it out onto the water. Like I said, the only concern that I have is that this drag adjustment knob is too small to make a good adjustment on the water, but I could be wrong. So the one thing that I want to mention is that ideally this reel is only supposed to hold the fly line, meaning if I fish for a bluegill or sunfish or panfish in general, then I only want the reel to hold the fly line. I pull the fly line out, fish, and when I hook a fish, I keep the pressure on, I strip it in, I don't need the reel at all. But what happens to me sometimes is that I hook into a larger fish, like a catfish or a carp. That happens to me on a regular basis. And in those instances, I really prefer to have a reel with some decent drag, where I can adjust the drag properly in order to land the fish. Okay, so here's the plan. I'm gonna take some backing, put it onto the fly reel. I'm gonna take some cheap fly line that I had laying around, also put it on the reel, and I'm gonna pair it with this Aventik fly rod that I purchased specifically last year for bluegill fishing but never used, and I think it'll go great with this reel. Then we'll take the reel out onto the water, test it, and then when I get back home, I'll give you my final thoughts on it. That was a good bite. Oh. And there's our fish that we can put on the reel. Oh, come on. Just tell me I'm recording. Yeah. Oh, that's a good fish. Yeah, he's not gonna pull drag, but it's gonna be a decent bass. I can loosen the drag a little bit. Okay. Now the drag is slightly too loose. Oh yes, that's a nice bass. Okay. Yeah, so see, I have the same issue with the drag adjustment. It's not bad, but well, actually it's pretty good now. Now that I have it dialed in. Yeah. Okay, definitely pulling drag now. Okay, let me try to get this fish out though. Oh, it's a nice bass. Oh, it's a beautiful bass. Nice. Let me show him off. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Let me show them off one more time. Here we go. What a nice largie. Oh yes. Let me pull up the fin. What a nice fish. Oh yes. Beauty. Alright. Come on. Time to go. I want a catfish to get out a little bit further.
Let's try that. Yeah, there's something. Yeah, pulling drag, fighting good. Drag is holding, coming towards me. Oh, it's right between my legs here. It's fighting really good. Yeah, I think there's my catfish that I wanted. Yeah, here we go. Come in. Ah, not quite. There we go. So the reel worked perfect. Oh, this is a really nice one. Let me show them. Oh, this is a really nice catfish. Give it a good release. Yeah. Oh, it's a fish I've been waiting for. This one definitely needs to be on the reel. Oh, loosen the drag slightly. Oh crap. Good carp. Yeah. Okay. Maybe need to adjust the drag a little bit. Yeah, it's right there. Perfect. Oh, stay down, stay down. This is really a good test for this reel. It's working well so far. I hope it's not too dark for these cameras to pick it up. But yeah, see, he's pulling drag. Yeah, it works perfectly. So honestly, I'm impressed about this cheap reel. Once you have the drag dialed in, it works really well. I was concerned about this. Okay, now I need to focus on tiring out this fish here so I can land it. Yeah. And there you go, I can see it. It's a small carp. Oh yes, good fish. Okay, I think she's almost ready to come in. Yep, he's ready. Here we go. Oh, let me show him off. Come on. Oh, hey. Here we go. What a nice fish. I hope it's not too dark for the release. Okay, I'm back from fishing and now I want to give you my final thoughts on the reel. I have to admit I was at first very skeptical about the reel, but I can honestly say I'm positively surprised about how well it's been working given the extremely low price point. For the $10 that I paid, I thought the reel was going to be complete garbage, but it's actually not. It's surprisingly well made.
And for a low price budget reel, it actually performed surprisingly well. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, and if the reel was garbage, I would straight up tell you. I fish with 4x tippet and I fish on very light equipment, so when I hook into a larger fish, I really need my reel to work. Also, if you watch the video, you'll notice that I paired the reel actually with a different rod, and that is just because the Aventik fiberglass rod that I originally paired it with wasn't casting well at all. So in order for me to continue the test of this reel, I had to put it on a different fly rod. So again, it surprised me how well this reel has been working, and I think you can also see this throughout the video. Now, is it going to be able to compete with, for instance, a Lamson? Of course not, but there's also a huge difference in price point. However, compared to other budget reels, it can easily hold up to them and compete with them. Actually, I like it better than the Max Catch Eco, and I would even go as far as saying that it can compete with the Max Catch Avid that I also own, but only because I had issues with the drag system on the Max Catch Avid after it got wet. Now on the flip side, I mentioned that before, the drag adjustment knob I think should be larger in order to make the reel better. And as with all budget reels, I think the drag adjustment should be finer. So if you move the drag adjustment knob slightly too far in either direction, then the drag is either too tight or too loose. But I guess you get what you pay for. So in the end, once you have the drag properly dialed in, then it works just fine, as you can see in the video where I fight the Largie and the Carp. So there you have it. I like the classic look. I like the click drag system. Definitely gonna keep it as a backup reel. So for the 10 bucks that I paid, or now $15 or $16 on Amazon, I think it's a fantastic reel, and it's probably the best entry-level reel that you can get if you're on a tight budget. Hope that helps you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments for this video. Cheers!